What's up, Yankees fans? I hope you're having a great day wherever you are. And hey, if you're someone who lives and breathes Yankees baseball but still hasn't hit that subscribe button, maybe now's the time to think about it. Just throwing that out there. Now let's dive into what's got the Bronx buzzing lately. The Yankees just took a loss to the Diamondbacks, 7-5, and man, there's been a lot of heat around the manager's bullpen decisions. I mean, people are really questioning why he didn't call on a certain reliable arm in that eighth inning when the game was hanging by a thread, especially considering that the pitcher who was in there wasn't exactly lighting it up. And you know what? I get it. I totally understand why fans are frustrated. That moment really left a mark. Now, just to be clear, I've never been one to praise this manager for how he handles the bullpen. It's never really been his strong suit in my eyes. But I do want to offer a bit of a different perspective here, at least for a second. Let's take a breath and break down what actually happened. First of all, it's worth remembering that the Yankees didn't start the season with 3 straight losses. Quite the opposite. Actually, they kicked things off with 3 wins in a row. That's important context. One key pitcher was away on paternity leave, and while I get that it left a gap, I don't think that should have been the excuse for not bringing in the best guy available for a potential 4-out save. That's a job he could have absolutely handled. So when people say it's too early in April or that it wasn't the right moment, I have to raise an eyebrow. If not now, then when? The player who was left in the game to pitch that inning had already shown signs of struggle. He had a rough season last year, and here he was again, facing a power hitter known for going deep. But at the same time, I do see why the manager might have wanted to give him that shot. The season's just getting started. The team's undefeated at that point, 3-0. So maybe, just maybe, the idea was to test this guy early, see what he's made of, and hope he can shake off last year's baggage. That's not the worst idea in the world. It's important to know what kind of arms you've got in the bullpen when the games start to matter even more. But the gamble didn't pay off. The next thing you know, boom, a grand slam, and the scoreboard flips dramatically. From what could have been a 4-2 lead, or maybe even 4-3, suddenly it's 7-4. That's the kind of swing that just knocks the air out of you. And yet, I can't bring myself to throw the manager under the bus for that particular decision. Sometimes, you want to see if a young guy can battle through adversity. You're hoping he learns, he grows, maybe even surprises you. It didn't work out this time, but I get the intent behind it. And just to be fair, even the reliever who came in later didn't exactly shine. So the situation was already tricky. The game didn't unravel because of just one bad call. It was a combination of things. Still, this was only the 4th game of the season. I'm not going to sit here and panic. Not yet. The idea was to evaluate the young pitcher, plain and simple. Now, despite the loss, there were definitely some positives in that game. One player stood out in a big way. He went 2 for 3 at the plate, smacked a home run, and added a single. But it wasn't just about the hits. His base running was sharp, aggressive, and smart. There was this one moment, and I wish I could remember the exact inning, where he was on second and another runner was on third. The batter hits a grounder, and the fielder tries to toss it to the pitcher covering first, but the throw sails way off. As soon as I saw that, I wondered, can he make it home from second? The camera cuts to the plate, just in time to catch him crossing it, full speed. No hesitation, no second guessing. Just pure hustle. That's the kind of heads-up baseball that doesn't always make the highlight reel, but it should. Because in that moment, he didn't assume anything. He just kept running. That's the definition of playing hard. And with 2 outs, that's exactly when you need that kind of effort the most. Those little things, those moments where a player shows that extra gear, it matters. It speaks to mentality, to focus, to heart. And honestly, I love seeing that. That's the kind of thing that separates a good team from a great one. You can't teach that. You can drill fundamentals all day, but hustle comes from within. And this guy had it. No slowing down, no giving up on the play, even when others might have thought it was over. But now, let me shift gears a little, because here's where my frustration with the manager really kicks in. I can't defend this part. Not at all. Why does he keep taking that same player out of the game after the 6th inning? Seriously, in this matchup, the Yankees were up 4-2, only a 2-run lead. And this guy, this player who had been tearing it up, 2 hits in 3 at-bats, one of them a home run, gets pulled. And not just against any pitcher, mind you. He did that against one of the absolute best arms in the league. We're talking about an elite-level pitcher, and this guy still found a way to deliver. That's the kind of performance that earns you the right to stay in the game. But no, the manager pulls him in the 7th, brings in a replacement, and of course, what happens? That spot comes up again in the 9th, and the new guy strikes out. Just like that. Now, I get it, the 9th inning pitcher was a lefty, and maybe the matchup wasn't ideal. But come on, why mess with what's working? The original guy was having a great night. His confidence had to be sky high, both at the plate and in the field. So why not ride that wave a little longer? Why not wait until the 8th or even the 9th to make the switch? Pulling him in the 7th just felt premature. And in a game that close, every little decision matters. That's the real issue I have. Not the bullpen management overall, but that specific substitution. It just didn't make sense to me. You got a guy locked in, performing well, and instead of letting him finish what he started, you cut his night short. It's frustrating. It really is. You can feel the momentum shift right after that move. And once that 9th inning strikeout happened, it was hard not to think, what if the original guy had stayed in? So while everyone's talking about bullpen choices and pitching matchups, I'm sitting here shaking my head over a guy getting yanked from a game he was dominating. That's where I put the blame. That's where I think the manager made a real mistake. Now, let's not overlook the rest of the roster either, because a few other guys really showed up on the mound. One pitcher, for example, had a quietly impressive performance despite some issues with control. Yeah, he gave up 4 walks, which is never ideal, but only 2 of those resulted in earned runs. He pitched through 5 full innings, allowed just 1 hit, and struck out 4. For a young arm, probably slotted as your number 4 or number 5 starter, that's a solid outing. Sure, he needs to work on the walks, no doubt about that, but overall, it was a performance you can live with. That's the kind of start that builds confidence moving forward. And then there was another reliever who stepped in later in the game and absolutely dealt. 2 innings, no runs allowed. But what stood out the most was his splitter. That thing was nasty. It was sharp, it was biting, it was everything you want out of that pitch. I actually remember watching him pitch before against another strong lineup, and he brought the same kind of heat then too. When that splitter's working, he's a completely different pitcher. After a rough spring training, where things didn't look all that promising, he's come back with a strong response. This outing was a reminder of just how effective he can be when he's dialed in. Now let's talk about the guy who came in after a rough inning and somehow turned it around. He took over in a really tight spot, managed to keep things under control, and got the team out of that jam. He even grabbed an out in the following inning, which helped settle things down a bit. That kind of mental toughness, coming into a game mid-inning when the wheels are already starting to wobble, that's not easy. But he kept his composure and did what he had to do. And finally, the last pitcher to take the mound came in to close things out. Unfortunately, he gave up a home run with 2 outs, which changed the scoreboard significantly. That swing brought in a pinch hitter who stepped up with a shot to keep the game alive. But luck wasn't on our side this time. He popped out of center field, and that was that. Game over. But here's the thing. While there are definitely moments where the manager deserves some heat, I don't think the bullpen management is the core of the issue in this game. For me, it really all circles back to that decision to pull a red-hot player too early. That guy was in the zone, 2 hits, including a home run, and he was contributing on both sides of the ball. You don't bench that kind of performance unless you have an extremely good reason. And quite frankly, I just don't see one here. Again, I totally understand the strategy of matching hitters and pitchers late in the game. I get the analytics, the percentages, the matchups, but sometimes you got to trust the eye test. You got to go with feel. This wasn't some marginal night for that player. He was crushing it. Taking him out in the 7th robbed the team of a chance to capitalize on his momentum. And as it turned out, that exact spot in the batting order came around again in the 9th inning. Instead of letting your hottest hitter take another shot, you've got a cold replacement stepping into a high-pressure situation. And we saw how that played out. It's little moments like that, micro decisions in the middle innings, that can end up deciding the whole game. I'm not saying the bullpen was perfect. It wasn't. But this loss doesn't fall solely on their shoulders. It's about decision-making, about timing, about reading the rhythm of the game. And in this case, I think the manager missed it. Still, despite the frustration, there's reason to be optimistic. The Yankees are off to a strong start. Beginning the season with 4 wins and 2 losses isn't bad at all. It's a solid foundation. There are players stepping up, arms showing promise, and the lineup proving it can do damage even against elite pitchers. The season's just getting going, and if the team can iron out some of these rough spots, especially when it comes to late-game decisions, they're going to be dangerous. So, yeah, it stings to drop a game like this. It's never easy watching a lead slip away or seeing a red-hot player get pulled when he's clearly got more to give. But there's also a bigger picture here. The energy is there. The talent is there. The hustle? Definitely there. And if they can tighten up those managerial calls, especially when it comes to trusting momentum and letting your guys ride the wave, this team has the potential to make some serious noise this season. But before we continue, please remember to join our channel and give this video a like. Your support allows us to keep bringing you the latest news about the New York Yankees. Feel free to share your thoughts on the news in the comments. In a potential move that could redefine the New York Yankees' 2024 season, rumors are swirling about the imminent arrival of José Ramírez. With the Bronx Bombers looking to reclaim their dominance in the American League, adding a dynamic and proven star like Ramírez could be the spark they need. Fans across New York are eager to see how this powerful, multidimensional player could elevate the team. But how realistic is this blockbuster acquisition, and what would it mean for the Yankees? José Ramírez, known for his electrifying play at third base and his consistent bat, has long been a star for the Cleveland Guardians. Over the years, the Dominican slugger has earned a reputation as one of MLB's most versatile and dangerous hitters, achieving career highs in batting average, home runs, and stolen bases. His ability to play multiple positions across the infield and even in left field makes him a key asset for any team, particularly one with the ambitions of the Yankees. Ramírez's accolades speak volumes. 6 All-Star selections, 5 Silver Slugger awards, and 3 All-MLB team honors. His 2018 season, where he entered the 30-30 club with 39 home runs and 34 stolen bases, left fans in awe. But his ability to perform in clutch situations is perhaps most notable. A .310 hitter in the 2016 World Series, he demonstrated his ability to rise to the occasion, even under the brightest lights. In 2023, Ramírez continued to shine with a solid .282/.356/.475 batting line, showcasing his ability to get on base and hit for power. His impressive plate discipline was highlighted by leading the American League in intentional walks and ranking second in walks-to-strikeout ratio. With a history of consistent performance, he would add both offensive depth and veteran leadership to a Yankees team hungry for success. As the Yankees look to bolster their roster, Ramírez's potential arrival could be the missing piece for their championship aspirations. With a career that already includes a near 40-40 season and a reputation as one of the game's fiercest competitors, the question remains, can the Yankees secure this game-changing player? And what would his addition mean for the team's chances at another World Series title? Fans will have to stay tuned as the story unfolds. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to keep receiving exclusive news about the New York Yankees, please subscribe to our channel and give us a like. We always appreciate your comments and opinions. See you in the next video.